Okay, so this is our official section of the stream that we're going to do Pickems, I guess powered by AWS, where if you make the correct predictions, if you are the winner of the TFT Worlds predictions, you will get a Chibi Shork cosplay Briar and a Chibi Dragon Trainer Tristana and a Chibi Aether Wing Kale and a matcha copy and 500 treasure tokens, which is a lot. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and ask Chat GPT. How much US dollar value is this following list of prizes for winning a TFT World Pickems? ChatGPT is going to break it down. Okay, so 500 treasure token, $4 depending on RP bundle. Okay. Emotes, $3 each. Wait a second, this can't be right. What? $18? 20? That's not true, man. The total value of this prize bundles of approximately... No, don't listen to this. Don't listen. This is just fake news. This is fake news. It's worth infinite money. The chibis on... Okay, maybe it's worth that much money if you just high roll the chibis instantly. $67. Maybe that's the true market value. Anyways, in order to get these, you have to roll them in like the treasure realm stuff. I don't have it pulled up in front of me. But these are like the cutscene valuable chibis that are worth hundreds of dollars each. So they're basically giving away like a ton. You have to win the whole thing. If you top 8 though, if you just get top 8, you get like the chibi Aether Wing Kale, which is pretty cool. And then you get like the Briar one if you get top 50. And then if you're top 25 and top 50, you get just a regular chibi, but it's still cool. Anyways, you have to pick your winners, earn rewards. The first thing you have to do, step 1, if you don't know, is to log in with your Riot account. Cyber City Tactician's Crown. 40 tacticians, 3 days of competition, so on and so forth. Let's click Pickems in the top. All right, so we can start off with the very top. Crystal Ball, are you the god of predictions? Choose which players will be top 3 of the Tactician's Crown. So you choose your top 3. Who is my top 3? I think maybe this actually should start with my tier list, shouldn't it? Shouldn't I make a tier list of everybody? But I don't think they actually have a tier list up available for it. So I can just basically build off of this. I think the favorite to win this tournament, in my opinion, is Wajan Iverson from North America. He's my #1 overall pick. If I were to make a tier list today, you have to say to pick someone in the power ranking. Wajan has scrimmed the longest out of anybody. He's been scrimming since the beginning, and he's done consistently well. Now, I understand that scrims aren't everything, but just stay with me here. 1, 3, 2... okay, but this one where he's top 16, it's okay. Top 8 here, which is good. 5, 2, 4, right? So he's been hyper consistent in scrims. He's also, I think, one of the hungriest players in general, given that he's been putting in more time than anyone else. And he also is a player that has like the eye test, the technical chops. You watch him play, you really see like full mastery of it. Wajan also, this set is taking TFT very seriously. Basically, this summer, he's full-time TFT, and he hasn't really missed a beat. Like, okay, maybe he's not top of ladder right now, but at one point he was like rank 1 and rank 3 or something like that, or rank 2 and rank 4. He's done well in all the tournaments that he's also participated in. He almost won cup #2. He's just extremely decorated, and he also got in through QP to Worlds this way. He didn't pop off at regionals, but that's okay. He did enough to get to Worlds. So usually Wajan's part-time TFT. This summer he's focusing on full-time TFT. I think he's an excellent pick for top 3. Pick #2. I'm going to go with a region that I think is getting a lot of hype for a lot of good reasons. I'm going to go with the best player from EU, and I'm going to go with Coco. That's Coco. I don't know if you guys have paid attention much to EU, but I think Coco is considered to be the best player from Europe. And that's not a slight to anyone from Europe, because there's just a lot of good killers there. But Coco is the best French player. Most people pick like Double 61 because of his legacy. Double's been to like so many world championships, and he's done well. But like Coco is just like every tournament that he's in, he's a threat to make final lobby. And he's also posted some of the most impressive tournament results on a cup by cup basis. Like at one point, I really wish they kept the scores up for the previous Tacticians Cup, But at one point, Coco was scoring like 40 points on day 1, 45 points on day 2, and then like almost winning the cup on day 3. Like he was just doing crazy stuff, cup after cup. This set, he hasn't, I think that was set 13. Set 14, this set he hasn't done nearly as well as he did the previous set. The previous set, he was just like on fire. But he got into QP anyways, and I think Coco is the best player from EU. If you watch him play, he always has the correct meta read. He always knows how to angle for first, and in general, he's one of the scariest players to play for a win out. He just really understands how to get there. He's always putting himself in a good spot. Pick number 3. Pick number 3, I'm going to go back, and this is going to admit I have some NA bias here, especially because he is on my team, but I'm going to go with Vitality Setsuko. I think this is actually an amazing meta for him. I think he is in a really... I think this is actually a meta that tests his skill set in particular. It wouldn't surprise me if Setsuko even just straight up wins as well. I mean, I'm putting him top 3, so... This is very much putting him in that contention. Anyone you put here in 1, 2, 3, just like any order you want, and you could justify it. And I think that as much as everyone wants to say this meta is Urgot this, Fast 9 Dynamo that, like whatever, turn your Bray off, click all the 5 costs, it's not true. I actually do think that there's meaningful edge in how you Fast 9, can you Fast 9, and perhaps most importantly, recognizing when you cannot and you have to salvage placements, and maybe even figure out a way to top 2, top 3 without playing that. And I think this is an amazing patch for Setsuko's skill set. I also think that he is locked in this set. Overall, I've had the pleasure of watching him play EWC. I've followed the tournaments that he's been allowed to play. The tournaments that he's been eligible to participate in. He's done really well. And if you actually go back and look at Setsuko's tournament history, the tournaments that he has been played on, he's actually back on a hot streak. I need to rewind. There, a couple of years ago, when Setsuko was first really breaking out, he was kind of he was kind of slotted as like the next big thing. It was Setsuko, Nubowel, Bertosaurus, and Spencer. There was like these group of 4, and DQA. There's like a group of 4 to 5 players who were young, and they were like, my God, these guys are all cracked. Setsuko was one of the people who stood out alongside Nubowel on ladder the most, but he wasn't putting on performances in tournaments. He was considered to be like a ladder warrior and not that good at tournaments, right? You're looking at him, regionals 25th. Whenever you enter tournament cups, it wasn't like actually that good. 81st, 20, like, you know, just very forgettable performances. And then when he figured it all out, starting in set 7, he put on something absurd, which was like a 17 tournament streak where the lowest he placed was like 11th or so, or 14th. It was unbelievable. When he started figuring out like what he optimized for tournament, because he was figuring out like where to actually commit to like playing as a tournament player versus playing as like a ladder player, and then figuring out that line. He went on some of the most dominant streak that we've ever seen, which is why for a long time, despite having made 1 world championship and 1 final lobby, a lot of people like literally say unironically that Setsuko is their TFT GOAT, because it's just like he put on such an amazing display of ladder and tournament performances for a year and a half. Like, it was unbelievable. Something happened where I think he kind of either didn't take TFT and I don't know personally, because at the time I wasn't really talking to him much. Either he wasn't taking it as seriously, maybe he was in his influencer arc, maybe it's just variance. But through a mixture of not showing up to tournaments, either literally on time, being banned, having a couple bad performances, people kind of, and then Dish Soap, the rise of Dish Soap, because it actually coincided kind of perfectly with it. Like, basically set 10 is when Setsuko cooled off. Set 10 is when Dish Soap put on the full jets and like won everything. Everyone's like, okay, well, it's just like Dish Soap number 1, and then maybe Setsuko 2, maybe Wage number 2, whoever. But if you actually like kind of pay attention, Setsuko has actually kind of regained that form. Look at every tournament he's entered since like set 13, which I know is like the beginning of last set, but like basically set 12, he got banned, and he came back from his ban, and his tournament results are 6th, 9th at Golden Spatula, which is actually really good. That means if he got top 8, he basically went to World. So he missed Worlds by like 1. 14th at the Cup, 9th at the Macau Open, which is also really good. Remember that the Macau Open is really, really hard to perform in, right? So, like, this is the huge thing. Wait a second. Actually, if everyone's playing at LAN, doesn't that actually mean that Setsuko might not make top 3 because he has to keep his pants on? I'm reconsidering for half a second here. If cam on, pants on, maybe Setsuko's final lobby not top 3. I'm saving changes. I'm locking in. That's my 1, 2, 3 right now. And then that might change depending on how I'm feeling. But for the most part, I think this is in my opinion the clear top 3. But then if you look at final lobby, right? Because the whole point is you predict final lobby. Final lobby might be like the top 8. That's a lot hard. That's a lot less clear to me. All right, regional ranking. Who do you think would be the best region at Cyber City Tetrison's Crown? Order all the regions that had representation in this format. There's only 4 regions, and this one might be the most guaranteed for me in terms of like the ranking stuff. Because, well, actually, there's a lot of these like little small kicker stuff, but we'll go for it. I think that this is gonna be a reversal from the previous sets. I'm actually gonna put China number 1. I think China is really slept on. And I think that the reason why they're slept on is because in the previous sets, they actually have been playing behind. They've been playing behind. They were playing on old patches constantly, and they qualified the latest, so they didn't have time to catch up. Dank Memes told like a story that he's like on the podcast I was on last night and saying like how in scrims, China always was averaging like a 6, 7, 8 in every scrim. But when it came Worlds time, when they finally were it felt like they were getting stronger and stronger. This set, they finally are playing on the current patch on time. And I think that China was doing really well in scrims, and they seem to be doing pretty well even this morning when we were watching. And I think that people just like stopped watching China because in the past year and a half, even me as well, I stopped watching as much China because they just kept being a patch behind. They got the patch late. They played on old tournaments and patches, or played on old patches and tournaments. So I stopped watching a little bit of China. I started paying attention to them again beginning of this year, and I think they're going to be back. I actually think China is going to be a really strong region this World. Region number 2, I'm actually going to pretty much keep the rankings here for the rest. I think EU 2, Americas 3, APAC 4. Although if you told me America's 4, I would believe you as well. That's not to say America's is a weak region. I just don't think the quality across the board matches a lot. But I think EU is arguably number 1, by the way. If you look at the EU, field, their weakest link is a player who hits rank 1 on their server like in his sleep, and that's not even necessarily like. I mean, I don't even know if Clyde Corner's the weakest player. He might be the weakest player because he doesn't have a practice group. But if you look at it, these are French players who are all accomplished, who are all really strong on their best day. Bowman Death won regionals, and he's like the least known. I will say that he's probably not at the level of like Coco, Volta, Experion. But Volta's been to how many world championships now? I think this is number 6, number 5. He was set 3, set 6, set 9, set 12, set. Was it set 12 or set 13? Yeah, set 12 and then set 14. So he's on his 5th championship. He's final lobby 2 of them. He got 3rd in once and I think 4th in another. Or sorry, 8th in another. He's probably the most accomplished French player besides Double 61. He's back. I already glazed up Coco. And then there's also a lot of underappreciated French players. The reason why you guys don't know much about French players if you don't follow the scene is because they have their own circuit. They have their own like competitive circuit, and Experion is pretty established within that as well. Bensack, great player on Fnatic, strong. Gobo Steer has performed well in tournaments. Lyris didn't Lyris like almost win regionals before as well. He's been in multiple lobbies, been to Worlds before as well. Did well at LAN. I expect all these French players to pop off. They're just good. The problem with Americas is that I think, and I just have to be very honest about it, is I think that we're just very top heavy with like Disho, Weijin, and Setsuko. And I just think that there's a lot of unproven commodities right now in Dihua, Vapa Casa, and I think Tex has been struggling a lot lately as well. So I just think that there's a high chance that we don't do like the best. But I also think that, like, you know, our midfield is pretty good too. Like, I think Kurum, Bobster, Cam are like, they're like pretty consistent players, but I don't know if the meta suits their place. Or sorry, I don't know if like Kurum and Bobster prefer to be tempo players, and they prefer to like play for like the level 8 and as opposed to like the fast 9 or like the loose cheek or Cypher cash out. But they are players that have made it work, right? So like I think that they can still overcome even their weaknesses, even though it's not a patch that favors their skill set. Same thing with Robin, right? I don't think that it's like a patch that I would say is the best for Robin, but I think that I trust Robin to be able to be consistent and get average placement. Where I'm not entirely sure of is how we'll do relative to EU and China, but I would love to be wrong on that front. The problem with APAC is that I think that they only have a couple of like their best players here. I think YBY is really strong. I think people know about Steppy and his strong ladder performances in Singapore. Royal's getting a lot of hype. But when I watch APAC play, both at regionals and the scrim level, I have not been particularly impressed. I see a lot of mistakes. I see a lot of questionable choices that didn't work out. So I couldn't even see their vision. And I see a lot of like unnecessary gambling. It could be the fact that their meta is different. It could be that their meta is like very tempo driven, so they have to do something more aggressive. But like overall, I think APAC has been a lot weaker. And in particular, I think a lot of Japanese players qualified, but from what I've seen of the Japanese players thus far, has not been super impressive. It's not that I say that they can't do well, right? Because again, being at the world's level means that, you know, obviously you've proven yourself, and APAC in general is like a hard region to thrive in because APAC is the most cutthroat region. It's like, it's so hard for you to get spots for your country if you're not Vietnam. And so to be non-Vietnamese and make it all the way through is just really, really hard. So it's not like it's not a good accomplishment. But I will say that watching them play extensively has not been particularly impressive. Group stage top 8. During days 1 and 2, the 40 players will play, but only 8 will make it to day 3. Who will it be? So if you pick, you have to put your top 3. It doesn't make sense to pick top 3 and then not put them in. So I'm going to go ahead and put Coco, Weijin Iverson, and Setsuko. And the order of it actually does matter. If you guys don't know, who you position as number 1 is who you're going to predict to win the groups. That's not going to be the final lobby position, if that makes sense. So like if I put Coco winning the group, but if I put him 2nd or 3rd, that actually does matter. So it's not just like throwing any 8 names. Okay, other players that I think is worth mentioning that are absolute killers. I think the first player that I want to put from China that I think is one of the scariest is Li Xiao. I think this guy on paper is the scariest Chinese player. He's on Team Falcons. He is one of the most accomplished Chinese players in recent history. Like a lot of people look at China and they don't really pick. They would say like Huan Mei and 60-second and Flancy and players who have been long established for a while. But if you look at Li Xiao, look at what he's accomplished in the past like year. Just a year alone, let alone year and a half. He's made it to both PC and mobile regionals at the same time, where he got 2nd in one of them and he did well. He almost made final lobby in the other. He's won the Esports World Cup. He's won the ACL. He's made multiple regional finals lobby. This guy's just a complete beast. He's actually been done super well domestically and internationally. He's completely composed, and you guys even just saw him push Cypher all the way to 5-5, right? This guy is completely fearless as well. So he's the scariest CN player on paper due to his recent history. So I think that he has to be somewhere here in your top 8. If you were to talk about the 8 strongest players. Another Chinese player that I think is worth watching is YGQF. This guy actually is sort of a victim of drama lately. I'm not sure if you guys saw, but he actually... he had an issue during regionals where his client was unexpectedly 60 FPS, and then other players were running 240. So he naturally requested a pause and sought assistance from tournament admins. The admin walked over and pressed the D key and rolled his shop, and so he lost the opportunity to make Kog'Maw 2, lost 2 gold. He went 8th on the spot. Here's a video of it. And by the way, we should just watch this video. It's actually sadly hilarious. He's like, oh, my FPS is bad. 240 FPS. I need it. So he pauses. Admin walks over. Boom. And he's just like, bro. He's just like, bro, what did you just do? You just rolled my shop. And it's like, yeah. And the guy's like, and then they denied his remake request. This is stage 2, by the way. This is stage 2. Stage 2. You know what he did? He went hard 8th at the regionals final lobby. But then he played in the LCQ, and this guy destroyed. Oh, so this is he actually destroyed. He scored the most, even though he got second. Sunga won because of checkmate. YGQF actually scored the most points. Yeah, he scored 35 points. He was completely guaranteed. He's a strong player. He's been competing for a long time, and now I almost kind of like want him to do really well because he just got screwed, man. He's very, very accomplished across the board, so I think he's a strong player. Okay, there's a couple of other really strong Chinese players as well. I think that Shunga is actually a reigning champion, but the thing about Shunga is that his play has a lot of volatility to it. He's very vulnerable to just like going 8th multiple times because I just think that some of the risks that he takes are a little bit unnecessary. He gets bailed out a lot, like more often than I want him to, so there's that. Shendu is basically the K3 Soju of China, and he's also playing really well. He's playing well in scrims. He played well in the tournament. It might be a really good patch for him. I think Shendu is locked in. I could see him making final lobby, but sadly, you have to make some cuts. I talked about YBY. I think that YBY has only been to Worlds twice, and his average placement at Worlds is 3. If you look at his results, he made it to Worlds in set 12, he got 3rd. And then in set 8, he got 3rd. So the few Worlds that he makes and he breaks through in, he does not fail to leave an impression. He always makes final lobby so far, even though it's sample size of 2. That's because I think this guy has major talent when it comes to, like, this guy is really creative with his boards. He finds alternative win conditions. He always finds a way to cap the board high. He does tend to be tempo-oriented win streaker. I mean, very similar to like Dish Soap in the sense that he can always find a way to win streak. But sometimes that might flame out if he can't like get to like the level 9 fast enough because other people are just doing like the usual forward-thinking Cypher cheese stuff. But I think putting YBY in the final lobby is like not even remotely controversial. Okay, so I have 2 spots left. I'm going to put another player from EU here. Oh, man. But the problem is it's kind of hard to choose. It could just be really any of them. I don't feel a strong conviction towards anyone in particular. So I guess this is just a personal bias now. I definitely see multiple EU. I even see 3 people from EU making final lobby. Okay, I'm going to go with an emotional pick here. This is my heart pick. You can't go wrong with Voltairix. You can't go wrong with Gobo Steer, Xperia, and so on and forth. But I'm going to go with my boy Sologo Song. Okay, but do I actually really believe that, though? I think Solo's like top 10, top 12, like in contention here, but like top 8. But this is sort of my heart pick here. I'm going to go with Sologo Song here because I think that he's worked really, really hard. Really, really, really hard. He's a workhorse. I don't know if you guys ever see Solo's spreadsheet. But there's like method to his madness. Like, why is Solo really strong outside of like the ladder and the play? But like this guy preps like crazy. This is his spreadsheet. Like he made his own TFT Academy in Google Docs. He has this. He has trait tracker boards. He has like all his emblem tech. He emblems every single unit. He has all BIS items across the board. He has Ord artifacts for every champion, every cipher, misconnections, early game utility, exalted adventure to it. This guy has tech for everything. This guy puts in the absolute work. He is unbelievably dedicated to like grinding TFT. And this is his 2nd or 3rd Worlds. And I just want to see that hard work rewarded. He's very consistent on ladder. He's done well in cups. He's always in streams watching all the tech. Every time I'm watching China or VOD reviewing a tournament, he's in there watching in my chat. Like this guy knows, man. Like just look at his bronze for life cat. This guy has like 15 bronze for life boards. I know 2. I know the Nitro Dynamo stuff, and I know like the Street Demon one, but like this is crazy. I can't believe it. This guy has like he has infinite. Now the thing is, does he have it all committed to memory, or is it all on a second tab? I don't know. Probably not. But this guy puts in the work. I would love to see him do well. Last but not least, I think it is just far too disrespectful for Legacy. You know it. He is the man, the GOAT, the legend. 100 Thieves dish soap. I think not putting him at least in the top 8 is undermining his methodology. Even if dish soap admittedly is not like enjoying the set, whatever, he still loves the thrill of competition. I also think that the pressure of LAN helps him thrive. I love telling this story because it's just so dish soap if you get to know him. But after I went to a LAN with him this set, we went bowling. We went to like a bowling alley where you can like play games, arcade, have food, whatever. And I just want to tell you something. Dish soap is one of the worst bowlers probably. I mean, he's not that bad, but he's terrible at bowling. Just gutter after gutter, hitting one pin, whatever. Just not doing that well. And I'm not good at bowling, but I'm consistent. I hit 7 to 9 pins. I rarely spare. I rarely strike. But I get my 7 pins and I get out, right? Put the fries in the bag. I'm ahead of dish soap by like 20, 30 pins. And at one point, you know, I know dish soap and I have a dynamic where we just like to rib each other a little bit. So I'm like, oh, dish soap, oh, looks like you're behind, man. It's not looking too hot for you. And it's like mild trash talk. And out of nowhere, dish soap like rolls his shoulders up. He stands up and he said, okay, watch this. He grabs the bowling ball and just walks up and bowls multiple strikes in a row. Just straight up delivers when I start trash talking him and he's under the pressure out of nowhere. And you know what? He even did the thing. You know how cool guys don't look at explosions? He just like bowls and turns around and starts walking to me, and then it hits a strike, and the bowling pins magnificently separate as if it's like some perfect action sequence. He actually just did it. He actually just aura farmed on me. He just did it. And I'm like, were you sandbagging? Were you trying to get me to bet against you something? And he said, no, I think I suck at bowling, but I just need the pressure. I need the stakes to be raised. He rises to the occasion. He's got that killer instinct. He put in the prep. His world's methodology is tried and true. I'm going to go ahead and put someone from China. I'm going to put China like this. I think Setsuko's a buzzer beater. Yeah, this looks like kind of right to me ish. How you order the top 8, if you want to get edge on me, how you order this top 8 is completely up to you because you get points for each position you get correct. Win rate player. Who will be the player to achieve the highest win rate during the competition? That's an interesting question. Who gets the most firsts? Who gets the most firsts? So there's a difference between players who have good average placement for people who goes first. People are typing Wage and Iverson. Dehua. Players who play for first a lot. Okay. So there are a handful of APAC players who, believe it or not, APAC plays for first a lot. But CN takes that to the next level. I actually bet my highest win rate player would be a CN player. I feel like CN, like Shunga is a first place player. Like, this guy plays for first. Like, he's playing for the win out. Li Xiao is a first place player. He plays for first. Wei Jin's a first place player for sure. I would say is the third player. I would say Coco's a first place player. I would say Experion is a first place player for sure as well. Like, when this guy's playing, I feel like he's always playing for super first. But the thing is, I'm not sure who to pick. This is actually kind of tough. This is not good. I'm gonna go with my initial instinct because the thing is, if you kind of want to pick one of your top 8 players because that means that they've done well. So to be consistent with your picks, if you want to score maximum points, you don't want to just pick someone random. Like let's say I have the read that Bobster is gonna to win, but I don't even have Bobster in my top 8. So if I don't have Bobster in my top 8, it kind of feels like going against my pick. You want to line that up strategy wise. So I feel like I have to go with one of my top 8 players, which I think is probably okay. I'm gonna go with NA bias here. Weijin. I would recommend any of those players though. Setsuko, believe it or not, Setsuko is I think Setsuko's edge this meta is actually how often he can get a 3rd place and scam placements from boards that doesn't like belong there. I think his main edge is that he knows more than anyone how to like scam the placements. I think that's like one of his biggest strengths. Not necessarily like a lot of players know how to cap out well, but I think he's really, really good at salvaging it. But if you're talking about win rate, Wei Jin's high. I mean, if anything, it's sort of like a double-edged sword because Wei Jin's also very vulnerable to 7th and 8th compared to some of the people who have high win rates. You know, my instinct says it's someone from China. My instinct says it's someone from China. Just like in terms of the highest number of firsts. I'm just gonna go with Li Xiao here, but my heart wants someone like Wei Jin. How many 3-star 5 costs will we see during this event? Okay, wow, this is just a roll of the dice. Usually the answer is 0 to 1. Historically, it's been 0 to 1. I think if you want to, I think the fun bet is to say 1. I think the like conservative bet is 0. Because you have to remember that it's not just like how much will people like high roll and convert, but how likely it is that they'll be denied. And also, are there things in the game to help them hit? So for example, in set 7, this was like 4 plus. Because there was a trait that let you do that. So I think like if I were to be like really cutthroat and competitive, I'm pretty sure it's 0. But if you want to have like fun, you're like, oh, I want to be different, I would suggest 0 to 1. But I'm gonna go with 0. Minimum health. What's the minimum health on a win counting all played during the event? Oh, I mean 1. It's gonna be a last stand player. I mean, come on, like it's always 1 HP. Like, there's final reserves. There's last, as long as there's mechanics in the game that allows that to happen. Yeah, there's gonna be a last stand Cypher win out, 100%. Okay, longest game. In which round will the longest game finish? So you're absolutely insane to ever pick these. It's 7-2. It's 7-2 or 7-1 is the most common. 7-3 is like an extreme scenario where 2 players are very healthy and they've never really played each other. So I would say that the safe thing would be to do 7-2. I would think 7-1 doesn't happen very often, so I would actually say that it's between these two because I could see a world where 7-3 happens. But state 7-5 means that you go to the state 7 carousel, which is pretty rare. So I think 7-2 is like the most common. You're just betting the odds. Shortest game? Oh wow, this one is just hard. There's no Kane encounter. Back in set 11, there was an encounter that ended the game at 5-4, so that was like an easy farm. But in the what round was the shortest game finish? Probably like 6. I mean, 6-6 or later is probably the safest, but 6. I could see. I've seen games where it ended 6-5. I think I'm gonna go with 6-5. Guys, 6-3 is really fast. I mean, you know what we could do? We can actually go through all of our scrims and look at it together. So let's go ahead and look at it. So this game ended at 6-6, and that was from a forfeit. That was a 3-star legendary game, by the way. Someone hit Aurora 3. Oh, sorry, that was me leaving. This game ended at 6-5. Okay, so my instinct was right there, 6-5. This game ended at, oh, it ended at 6-3. Oh, you guys might be right. 7-1, 6-5. Oh, so it's actually 6-3. Let me go back to some more scrims. 6-5. Okay, so it's just 6-5, and whether or not you think it can happen one time for a 6-3. Okay, so that's that. So it's 6-5 for sure. And then it's like whether or not you think it happens one time or two times at 6-3. Because remember, it just has to happen once. Dishop says trade tracker win streak. That's an instant 6-2. Yeah, fair enough. I'm going 6-3. If you guys want to be brave, go 6-2. But I think 6-3 is the correct move here. Number of day 3 games. The stage will. Oh, okay, so how many games will final lobby be? On average, it's been 5. There's been multiple instances of 4. It's actually 6 is actually kind of rare. 5 is the most common, I'd say. If you could go back historically and look at it real quick. So let's go with Tactician's Crown. Okay, so let's start off with set 13, set 12, set 11, set 10. So set 13, Dish Soap ended it in... He ended it in 5 games. Set 12, he ended it, or Title ended it in 6 games. That's kind of on the rare side. In set 11, Dish Soap ended it in 5 games. Oh, I'm starting to sense a trend here. In set 10, Malala ended it in 5 games. I mean, 5 is like really safe. And that was just a pass 4. In set 9, title ended in 4 games. In set 8, I think it was 5 games for replay. It was. So I guess it's like 4 or 5. Set 7 was 6 games actually. Set 6 was 4 games. Set 5 was 5 games. This was I don't know about set 4. 5 games. Okay, I'm picking 5. I'm picking 5. I'm pretty sure it's just as the average. This is just complete gamble though. Number of different winners. How many different players will manage to win a game on day 3 of the Tierlist Cup? Oh gosh. How many? Actually, let me open up all the things I closed. So historically, 1, 2, 3, 4 people won. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many people here? 1, 2. Isn't this just like randomly guessing? 1, 2, 3. It looks like 4, 3 to 4. Sounds like right. This is set 5. But this is also recent as opposed to like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm pretty sure the tech is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, it's actually so consistently 4. It's crazy. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's actually wild. Oh, this is the current one. Okay, it's actually just 4. Oh, this stage will. Oh. You know what? That's okay. We're doing the research ahead of time. Okay, yeah. This will open at the day 2. Okay, this. And then grand final, the top 8 best players who will be able to hit the final ranking of the crown. So you pick your winner. Okay, so that's it. That's it for your Pickems. And then there's gonna do a ranking. Okay. So I guess I will just do this as my Pickems. I'm gonna go ahead and officially screenshot this. All right. What's my exclamation point Pickems? There's no augment questions now. No. They used to have questions of like what's gonna be the most picked augment, what was gonna be like the most picked silver, things like that. So I guess they're just doing straight up player predictions now. It must have, you know what it is? They probably have a lot of data onto how many people actually clicked on that kind of stuff, and I think they might be simplifying it because it might be too hard. Can you look at regional rankings again? I picked China, EMEA, Americas, and APAC. Are you gonna rank all the players in the world's tier list? Yeah. So does anybody have an actual tier list for the players? I have an old version of it. Here's the old version. So the old version was this, but this was before. Okay. He added everyone. This was the chat. This is the chat version because we put everyone in S tier because chat gets mad when you don't put their favorite player in S tier. All right, so let's wrap this up with a final tier list of the players. YBY up here in S. I've already explained to him. Dr. O, I think Dr. O actually is very interesting player. He's like a reroll heavy specialist. He has some interesting takes on the meta. I'm gonna put him here because he's like basically a madman. Like sometimes he does like crazy stuff and it works out, but a lot of times it does not. I think Experion is I'm gonna put him top of B or like bottom of A area. But like I already talked a lot about the French. I think Kurum is also somewhere here as well. Like I can see him make a run for the final lobby, but I think final lobby would be a success for him. Just given that I think Kurum in general has a player that I still think is imperfect. I think he's working out some of his weaknesses. And I think that he is a little bit weaker than the other top echelon players. But I also do think that he's been actively working at his game. It wouldn't surprise me if he's actually top of C though, because I don't actually think that he's better than a lot of the players I'm going to be ranking in B. We'll see. I also don't think it's a meta that fits his skill set nearly as much. Wage, and I already told you I ranked number 1 overall. I put Bobster ahead of Kurum right now, but they're basically around the same. Tex, unfortunately, has not changed my opinion very much, but I'm happy to be wrong on it. He did well at regionals, which is good. But I think in scrims, I'm just seeing a lot of stuff that makes me feel like I hope he figures it all out. But I would love Latam to do well. He's a lone Latam representative. And overall, I would like to see him do well. I actually like Tex a lot. I think he's a cool guy. Chi, that's how you pronounce his name. He was impressive at the beginning of scrims, and I think he cooled off a little bit on me. I think maybe I just saw good flashes of him, but I thought he was like okay, like solid games, nothing too crazy. I think he's definitely a solid player though. B is like okay, I think. Yatuhashi. So unfortunately, I'm going to put the Japanese players like kind of low. I think Japan is not really a big threat from what I've seen so far, but they've kind of bombed scrims and they make some questionable plays. Their boards on average are not looking like they're optimized. So I do think that they need Taito-san to help them out. Steppy is one of the stronger APAC players. If I'm going to put Steppy like on paper somewhere around here, I might have to move people down. But I think Steppy is quite solid on ladder. I think he's also not that wait, actually, because there's another player named Tristan who plays go by Little Steppy. I wonder if I'm mixing up the results. I think Tristan is still like a little bit inexperienced on the big stage. But I do think that in general that some of these Singaporean players are underrated because they just are a small region. Nguyen Vux, this guy was the least impressive APAC player when I was watching him play at regionals, but I don't think D tier is like fair to say because that puts him in like company of players I think that he's obviously not nearly as weak at, or at least less likely to do well. So I think putting him in C is fair, but I think he was like the least impressive at regionals. In scrims, he's changed my opinion a little bit. One thing about Nguyen Vux is that he cooks a little bit. He does some cool stuff. Royale has a lot of hype, and me ranking him high would be purely off of the hype. I personally don't see that much of it in the limited amount of scrims I've seen. So I actually put him like around here with the rest of APAC. I think coming from Vietnam doesn't necessarily mean that you're like a strong player. I don't think they're there yet. I think Vietnam has strong players, but just because you qualify from Vietnam doesn't mean like you're like an immediate beast. But he's definitely shown moments where I'm like, okay, I can see why. Taro, I'm officially going to put here as well. Grenade, I've seen only like 2 scrims of, and I don't know much about. So I think if I were to be very honest, I'd put him down here in D. I don't have high expectations for him. Out of all the Japanese players, are they all D? That can't be right. I feel like I've seen Taro do okay at times, but like he also flames out. It's probably Yatuhashi. I mean, I feel bad just putting all the Japanese players here in D, but I guess it's just my honest opinion. Daehua. I put Daehua in C tier here. I think that I sat on a podcast with him yesterday, and he keeps like a lot of what he says. He keeps saying stuff like, "Oh, I hope I don't get nervous," or "I hope the guy next to me is more nervous than me." I just don't really like. But at the same time, he's like, "I'm the best player going to Worlds, and I'm gonna crush everyone." I feel like he has a pretty big risk of psyching himself out because he's a person that's susceptible to sort of like the emotional ups and downs. He's also still kind of new to the Worlds level, so I do think that he is working. He's like also discovering a lot of new things about how to improve. So I do think that he's on the process of coming up, but right now I would say in terms of like tier strength, it's probably here. Vomentet, dude, this guy, every time I see roll, hits Urgot 2 on 9 in like 10 or less rolls. But also, he isn't winning those games. So I think that if there is a player from EU, or if there is a French player that's not in the B tier, I think it's him. Don't worry, guys. I'm gonna put some people in A tier. I think Volta is an A tier, but like I think he's like in my opinion, I think Volta's a questionable A tier. If I were to be quite honest. There's a lot of times when like Volta, he's basically like EU Bobster, where like a lot of times it feels like he's vibes based. I'm not like, I feel like I don't understand Volta's plays, but that doesn't mean that he's a bad player or anything like that, or that he's playing bad. It just means that I just can't tap into his mindset. And that's a really dangerous thing, both in a good and bad way. It means that he can make final lobby, but you guys have to remember that Volta has also gone dead last at Worlds before. Like his results at a crown, he's like final lobby here, but then he also went like almost last at another regionals, and then he went top 8 again. So it's like hard to say, man. This guy is like the biggest enigma in EU, I think. Robin is here for me. I think Robin I kind of put Robin as sort of like the gatekeeper of B tier. I don't know how seriously he's prepped for Worlds. Like I think he's prepped Worlds in the same way he's prepped for regionals, where like he is doing it mostly by himself. As far as I know, he's not talking to anyone. Maybe I'm wrong on that front. But also, I also think that the meta, like, I think the regionals meta was good for him. I ranked Robin really highly because I thought the regionals meta was amazing for him, and also the Tacticians Cup, because it was very flowcharty, play around the Exotech, play around the 4-cost, AD centric, very stable. Like, Fast 9 wasn't nearly as prominent as it is now. Now I think the meta is a little bit hostile towards Robin's playstyle. But I do think that the one thing I will say is that Robin doesn't get nervous and his mental is amazing. And I think that Robin is like a player that should be firmly middle of the pack. If you're talking about like who's in the middle of the pack, I think Robin is like a very safe. If you're fantasy drafting, Robin's guaranteed points. Man, I really don't have a lot of AT. I'm going to skip Lyres for now because I'm going to go ahead and put Coco up here. I'm going to go ahead and stick consistent to my top 3 here. Top 3. I'm going to put Shendu in A. I'm going to go Li Xiao here in S. I'm going to do some of the easier ones. I think Cam, Bobster, Kerm are all kind of like in this mix where they can definitely make a good run, but they sort of have to have the good roles, and I hope that they can put together their game plan. I'm going to put Sologa Song here in A as well. Lyres, I'm not sure how to evaluate very much. This is one of the players I've watched the least out of all the French because I feel like I don't get to see many opportunities of. But I guess I'm gonna put him next to Experion because he's just like, these are, again, B tier is not bad. They're like threats to go far, which means I have to move these guys down. It means I have to move these guys down because I'm now B tier is getting crowded to the point of people that like I can actually believe in and see them do well. But I'm not sure if that's true. Vapakasa. Okay, so Vapakasa has a unique spot in this tournament. He's the only player not playing at LAN. It surprised me if he did all right here. I'm gonna put him in C. But I do think that in general, that Brazil has made a couple of good runs in Worlds, so just keep an eye out for that. Genbai, this guy did this. I mean, I just think China is good. I think Genbai, from what I've seen, does decent. So I'm gonna put him here. Xiaoqi is, he's like he like did well at Macau. I think he's like a newer player. But Xiaoqi in general has not like done much besides qualify for Worlds. He's like new. Yeah. So I think he's like fine by the virtue that he's like from China, and he'll probably have like good back. Like China's just generally strong. But I'm gonna like put him on the lower side because he's like unproven. In fact, it wouldn't even surprise me if he's like here. Gobo Steer, very solid French player. I'm gonna put him here. Same thing with Bensack. Clyde Cornin is probably like a player that is struggling the most because he doesn't have a practice group. He's also on a server that's notoriously been overrepresented for their LP. Like Clyde Cornin is like 2,300 or something on like oh crap! Oh, I saved the save. Clyde Cornin is like 2,300 on like Turkey or something like that, and he's like perma rank 1. I must have decayed, but like the guy's like permanently rank 1. But that's because he gaps Turkey and like. But then when he shows up at the Cup, the Turkish players, some of them do well, but they're nowhere near as dominant as they are on ladder because Turkey is like a smaller region. And also he doesn't have people to talk with. From what I've been told, he doesn't really prep with anybody, so kind of hard to say. So Dish Soap. Oh man. I'm gonna do it to him. I'm gonna put Dish Soap here at the top of A tier. That doesn't mean Dish Soap isn't. That doesn't mean that Dish Soap isn't capable of win. This actually puts him 6th overall. That's still really good. It puts him 6th overall. But I would say that this meta doesn't favor his skill sets. It's kind of crazy to say, but man, this is a Fast 9 meta. I'm being very real, man. I'm keeping it a buck. I don't think that this is a meta where it's like Dish Soap's meta, man. Because this meta is not really about the 4 costs as much, where Dish Soap can get his incremental edge. I think that it's like a patch where I feel like a lot of that style of play can get ripped away from you because of BS. And so I still have him really high, you guys. I still have him high. I still have him making final lobby. And if you make final lobby, you absolutely can win. But man, I've heard people say that about multiple tournaments I've won. Well, when you win so many tournaments, I mean, that's bound to be true. It's true. Xiao Yuqin is a mobile player. Seeing mobile players in general, I'm actually kind of low on because I think that they play on a different client. I saw CN mobile players literally play Titanic Hydro Graves still. And as last time I checked, Titanic Hydro Graves was not very good anymore because they nerfed it. I think they're on just like different. So I think they're on different clients, different patches. I think they're just behind. And so I'm going to go for, I'm just going to put the CN mobile players just a little bit behind for that reason. Dude, my C tier is looking too big. Han Xing is fine. He's a solid player. He's done well before on land. This is a shot from EWC when he was on Weibo Gaming. And Han Xing's solid. I think Xunga is like right around here as well. Very volatile. He's basically like another Voltairix? No. He's like he's just like a guy. I just see like Xunga sometimes just send it and just he feels like vibes based for me as well. And then YGQF is really high up here as well. Name. This doesn't look 100% correct to me, but this looks pretty much somewhere around this. Oh yeah. Xunga is like okay. Xunga is like Solus if Solus streamed consistently and became the TFT world champion and then account shared and got banned. That would be what Solus is. Yeah. Xunga and Solus. He's like elevated Solus. Xunga loves Gorilla. It's over for him. The problem with Xunga is that sometimes he just like makes a meta read call. Like there was another comp that he like loved playing Nitro before he got buffed. And that in itself was already a little bit sketch. But he like played it so often. I don't know. Sometimes he just gets like a meta read that I'm not sure about. Okay. Is there anything completely wrong here? Is there anything completely wrong? Can we move Nguyen Vux a tier down so it looks better? I think I'm gonna move Tristan down. I actually think it'd be Tristan here. If I were to pick one person to move down, it'd be Tristan or it would be, yeah, somewhere around that. Dihua is S+ tier. Summer Timer is S tier. Dissoap is not S tier. I mean, we could do a chat tier list afterwards. The chat tier list is 15 people in S tier, 2 people in A tier, 0 people B tier, 0 people C tier, and like 15 people in D tier. I mean, I think overall is a pretty fair, solid list. And I think that the way I define S tier is most likely to win it all. A tier is likely to final lobby, deserving champ, right? And then B tier is like dark horse to make final lobby run. C tier is like not threatening. Not threatening. That's basically it. And then D tier is like I mean, yeah. I'm not sure what to say about D tier for you. I don't want to just be mean. And I don't think Tech Summers is like bottom here. I'll put the Japanese I don't know. It doesn't really matter how you order it. Dehua doesn't mind if I put him last. I'll put Dehua last in D. Just to protect ego. Like, he can actually handle it. The problem is if I put any of these guys in the bottom of D, I think I might, like, piss them off for real. APAC's the worst region by this tier list? Yes. There's a couple people that can move up. I think Royal is getting a lot of hype, for example. I think Dr. O is good. But the thing is, my true tier list take, again, if you don't care about making it look better, is that B tier cuts somewhere. I mean, I don't really know too much about these CM mobile players, but they cut somewhere around here. But, you know, I'm just making it look a little bit better. Isn't Taro a good player? I mean, I think he can be, yeah. I mean, again, this is a tier list ranking. I probably, like it's not doesn't mean like they're not bad. Like, I don't think there's like truly bad players at Worlds. But I don't think that I don't see Taro as being a threat. I think out of all of them, I think Yatsuhashi might be the most promising Japanese player. There's bound to be Westby. Yes, 100%. If you look at my tier list and you look at an APAC tier list, it'd be look completely different. APAC players probably put like Steppy up here, you know? Like, do they love Steppy? They love all those guys. I think that's gonna be it. So that's my world tier list for now. And I think that I'm sticking to my guns for now. I mean, obviously people can move up and down. I think I've been fair.